Raj, as MD of FixFlo, you've been in Proptech. You must have been one of the first Proptech people around in the UK. What advice would you give to new Proptech firms starting off in this industry?
We were very lucky when we started. I don't think PropTech was even a term. Um,
It's an awful word, isn't it?
it's a, what do they call it, a mixed blessing, in the sense that PropTech is great in terms of providing a category descriptor for technology that helps people within the property
Yes.
sector, but it's a curse in the sense that it sort of divides it from the property sector. PropTech is an extension of the property sector. We work across residential and commercial property in lots of countries, and PropTech is part of the property sector.
I mean, there is Proptech conferences. Now, I've never been to one, but I know plenty of people have been to them, and there's a total lack of estate agents and letting agents in the room. So it's almost like a conference or conferences for people in PropTech to all have a big love-in. What's that about?
That's an interesting way to look at it. So, part of the value of PropTech conferences is about sharing ideas.
Okay.
It's about the technology
Not the
itself.
beer afterwards.
And it's partly about the beers afterwards and sometimes during. But um, integrations are absolutely key. So, from an agency's perspective, a property professional's perspective, having different systems talking to each other and having a single source of truth is really, really powerful. So, PropTech conferences are useful from that perspective. Um, But to your question, what would I advise a PropTech company starting now? I would strongly advise them, and VCs out there won't like this, before you go and raise money, and money is readily available in this sector, go out and speak to people, pound the streets.
It's interesting the amount of PropTech. I talked to a few of them, and their best mate works for Hart, and they went down the pub for a couple of hours and talking to their mate, whose mate's mate works for Hart or one of the corporates. And that's the basis of them going into their bedroom for 2 years and building up a PropTech firm.
Um, there are a few companies out there. I don't think there are that many. So the lean startup methodology is pretty well known, which is the truth isn't in your head. In fact, it isn't in your office. The truth is in your customers' heads and in their offices.
I like that line.
But going out and speaking to people is the only way to validate or disprove. And I started the business, FixFlo, trying to work out all the reasons why it wouldn't work. And so I would go out and speak to agents and I'd say things.
That's an interesting way. Instead of trying to prove it worked, why it wouldn't work.
Yeah. So one of the techniques I used, and I apologise to every letting agent I said this to, was one of my friends is starting a tech business. I don't think it's a very good idea. This is what it does. Could you give me all the reasons why it won't work so he's not hurt when I go back to him?
Quite clever, that one.
And because if you go in and say, "Hey, I'm really excited. I've got this great idea. It's gonna change the world. It's going to be everything I ever hoped for," people don't want to deliver bad news to you. So if you give them a reason to, if you say it's okay, I want to know the truth, you need to sort of different.
Oh, you're asking
separate it.
for a friend.
Or asking for, but I wanted to know every reason why FixFlo wouldn't work, and I didn't get them all. But I got a lot of good reasons why it wouldn't work, and we use that as part of building what would work.
I'm with you. What else do you think they could do, apart from asking the agents what wouldn't work and what wouldn't? Do you have any other advice for PropTech firms?
Understand the market. So speaking with lots of new people to the sector, get out and ask questions. So I think that lettings is really interesting, particularly because it's letting agents, the people who started the business are entrepreneurs and they get it. They understand how hard it is to build a business. They understand the blood, sweat and tears. And perhaps because when I was starting the business in sort of 2013, there weren't many PropTech companies knocking on their door, but I found them hugely, hugely happy to help in terms of giving insights.
Any other advice? Here's a one for you. I find an awful lot of PropTech firms come from London and design a solution for London agents which doesn't work outside the M25.
That is true. Absolutely true. We, in our first or second year, did 78 events around the UK going to speak to letting agents. Some of them we just turned up to as exhibitors. The city where I think we've got the highest proportion of agents using our software is Leeds, which is where we started.
Leeds.
Leeds.
Ian's White's hometown.
Yeah.
So, what advice would you give about what works in London won't work elsewhere? Do you think Proptech firms should make a London-centric Proptech solution? Because the issues with London agents are slightly different to what's happening out the UK. Or is it just a lot more intense at a bigger speed?
It really depends what the Proptech solution is for. So if the Proptech solution is around commuting, for example, so knowing which properties are commutable, then that has heightened value in London, where going 3 miles could be an hour or it could be 20 minutes. So that's hugely valuable. We started with repairs and maintenance and found something that is a sort of ubiquitous challenge. So so when I come back to the points I made about knowing the market, it's about knowing who you are, knowing what you're doing, for whom, what value does it provide, and then you'll start to understand a bit more around which is the right market, which are the right markets for your solution.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.